Hello there, and welcome to the Potent Puffin podcast. And I'm your host, Jake Thomas. And chilling with me today is Raji, the Maine Coon cat. Now, this has been a very therapeutic week for me. If you tuned into my last episode, you know that my father, Mark Thomas, recently passed away. And so, me, my wife, my son, we packed up and we made a quick trip um, back to my childhood home in Arkansas to attend my father's funeral and celebration of life. We've been staying with my brother and his family while we're here, and for me, it's been a very therapeutic and helpful thing during this time of coping and adjusting uh, to what life's putting me through right now. And it was really nice. We had a good graveside ceremony for my dad last Thursday, and then on Friday we had a more upbeat celebration of life. A lot of my dad's friends that to me growing up were mostly stories, kind of like myths or legends, if you will, all showed up for this thing, and we heard their sides of a lot of these stories that my dad told us growing up. And to me, that meant a lot because it just showed the impact that my dad's had on so many people. And I enjoyed it because it was like having my dad still here and talking to him almost. Because I'm hearing these same stories that I've always heard him tell, just from a different point of view. So that was really good, not only for me, but I'm sure for all his friends who were there telling a story. I'm sure for them it was just as therapeutic and um, memorable of an experience for them, helping them cope through this time as well. And so that was good. We've done a lot of things this past week that my dad did with us when I was a kid. Like I remember my dad used to take me to play golf at Burns Park in North Little Rock. And he also is the one who initially taught me about disc golf. And when he taught me about disc golf, it was just, you find a tree and you're like, oh, that tree's going to be the goal. We didn't use baskets or anything. And, well, Burns Park has put in a couple of disc golf courses um, on their grounds. So I took Brandy and Calson out there a few days ago to play the disc golf course. And so it was pretty neat going to this place that my dad used to take us to, either to play golf or to play on the playground when we were growing up. And I took my son there to play disc golf, which I've been really into lately. And, it's something that my dad initially taught me about 15 years ago. And so that was therapeutic. And then my son got to play on some of the playgrounds, that I played on as a kid. So that was really cool. And then got done with that, and we went over and ate at their Purple Cow, and that's restaurants in the Little Rock area that I went to a lot as a kid. My dad took me there a lot. Usually, if I left school early to go to a doctor's appointment, we would end up at the Purple Cow. And so I got to take Calson and Brandy there for the first time because neither one of them have been to a Purple Cow before. And the big thing there is, you get the purple ice cream, and it's just regular vanilla ice cream that's been dyed purple. But it's just a really cool gimmick that they have there. And so if you're ever in the Little Rock area, check them out. It's a cool thing. And so that was really cool for me to, get to experience these things with my kid that my dad used to take me to do when I was a kid. And still we when we've ate at some of the restaurants that my dad used to take us to a lot, or in some cases we just ordered food from him and had it Grubhub to the house to eat because we're trying to stay social distance when we can. and abide by local ordinances for restaurants that are takeout only, trying to respect that whole stuff going on. And so still adjusting, but just finding ways to still do things that my dad did with us. And so that's been really cool. And one cool thing when we were out at Burns Park playing the disc golf is they had a vending machine there that you could buy disc at. I thought that was really cool. Callison was really fascinated by it. So we ended up buying a couple of discs out of the vending machine. Didn't plan to buy any new disc on this trip, but did because Callison was just so fascinated with this vending machine. And so that was really cool, because a lot of the discs that were in there were actually like promotional discs from, I guess, different events. So that was cool. We found one that was really neat for us. And yeah, so that was cool. And then, other than that, it's been a lot of family time this week, spending a lot of time with my brother. My sister was here the first few days that I got here, but she got here before I did, and she had to get back to Georgia pretty quick because her husband's in the Army, and he had to report back to duty just, I think, this past Monday. So they left the day after the celebration of life. So I didn't get to spend too much time with her, but I still got to see her and, grieve and cope with her. And so that was good for us. And yeah, but it's been like that. I mean, like I said, I'm staying here with my brother and his family. And so, they've been cooking meals most nights. Me and Brandy cooked meals one night, and we've grubbed up quite a few nights too. So it's been cool. I mean, we've been doing a lot of things together. Been getting to see, my son and his son play together, and it's just, they've met once before, and the first time they met, they were instant friends, and that's been a year and a half ago. And so we come back, and they just picked up like it was yesterday that they last saw each other, and they're best friends again until bedtime. Then they want to fight, and then they fall asleep and wake up the next morning, and they're best friends again. It's the craziest thing ever. But it's just something that's been really neat, and I'm glad they're getting to have this time together. And so, yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, it wasn't, a planned or expected thing, and the circumstances of this trip aren't the greatest, but I'm glad it's happening because, I like being able to remember my dad in the positive ways, and I think, getting to get all the grandkids together to have time together is something he definitely would have enjoyed. And so, for me, that's been a really good way to remember my dad. And so, with that, there's also been, a lot of things not really related to my dad that we've been able to do. Like, I bought, back in May when I was in Georgia for my internship, I bought a GTO, which is one of my favorite cars. And so, since I didn't take it to Alaska with me, I left it with my grandparents to keep until we move. We didn't have to rent a car while we were here because I had my GTO. And so that's been cool getting to share that with Callison and Brandy. I was really excited about that. So getting to make memories with that car with them is really cool for me because like I said, it's one of my dream cars. And so getting to spend time with my family in it rather than just by myself like I did over the summer is really cool. But of course, when we were checking the weather before we left, the weather kept saying that it was going to be like low 50s and sunny the majority of the time we were here. with the exception of like 2 days, it was supposed to rain, and that was like the first 2 days we were here. Well, that forecast did not come through. It's been cloudy and on and off rain the entire time we've been here. And then 2 nights ago, it came an ice storm. And of course, my brother lives on a hill. So his driveway is a hill, and you have to go up this hill to get to the road. And I'm in my GTO, and I'm parked at the bottom of the hill, and it's just a sheet of ice. So I haven't even tried to get out yet. But we're leaving this afternoon. But it looks like they've sanded the road, so the road should be fine. It's just his driveway hasn't been treated at all. And of course, there's in Alaska, I'm used to, having either all-wheel drive or front-wheel drive, something that can handle it fairly well for a hill, but not rear-wheel drive with no studs. So that might be a little interesting trying to get out. I think we're going to see if he has any salt in his garage to put down, but I think if we wait till noon, it's supposed to warm up a fairly good amount, so we might get lucky and it might melt some before we try and get out. But we'll see. I mean, it's not the worst thing. It looks like it's getting out of his driveway, and then we should be pretty good from there. But, we left Alaska with the snow and everything. Weren't expecting to have any while we were here. And what do you know? It followed us here. And I'm sure once we leave, they won't get any more the rest of the year. And they'll continue to blame us for getting it. But, that's how it happens sometimes. And, yeah. That's been what's been going on mostly this week. Yeah, so it's been a good little trip. I'm ready to get home to Alaska, but at the same time, I'm not really ready to leave here. It's been interesting because we've actually looked at a few houses while we were here that we liked. We went and drove around one day and just looked at a bunch of houses here in Maumelle where my dad lived and my brother lives now, and found quite a few that we liked that are actually around what we're looking to spend whenever we do move. So it's kind of interesting that we saw those. But it was kind of just a relaxing thing to just drive around and, look at houses for sale. It was fun. I'm glad we did that. Even though I don't think we planned to buy any of those houses, it was still, fun to look and fantasize about it. So that was cool. And, yeah, it's been a really calming, therapeutic week this week. Just doing what I could to celebrate my dad with my family. It's been therapeutic. I think this trip really helped a lot with the grieving process. So I'm very grateful for it. And that's all I got for this week. I'll catch you all next time. And be on the lookout either next week or maybe the end of next week. There should be another paranormal Puffin out if y'all are into that. So check that one out too, when it should be out in the next week to a week and a half. And I'll catch y'all next week.